off the dais, the award recipients, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to you. I won't take much of your time. I have this strong belief of power of three, so I'll just leave with three ideas behind today with all of you. The first one is that I'd like to congratulate CSI for celebrating their 50th year. 50 years is not small in the life of an association, life of an organization. If you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which primarily consisted of 10 companies, which started off in 1898. Today, if you look at number of companies which are left behind in Dow Jones Industrial Average, there are no more than one of them out of the 10 that were there. So obviously, lasting for 100 years is very difficult. CSI lasted for 50 years. I wish them all good to last for many more years. I'm not younger than CSI. I'm older than CSI. But all the same, my encounters with computers also is almost like the CSI's age. The first time that I encountered a computer was in IIT Kanpur way back in 1972, which means that it's a little over 40 years. And tremendous amount of change we saw thereafter. I went to IIT Kanpur, we saw the IBM 7044s, IBM 1620s. The first programming language I learned was Fortran. And then the opportunities were so few that I decided to join as a senior management trainee and actually go back to my basics of mechanical engineering, running an assembly shop for the DCM group. But then I went back to US in 1976, and again my encounters with computers started back again, whether it was System 360 or the IBM 3 series. And therefore, when I came back from America in 1977, I decided that I'll make a career in computers. And certainly, if you look at the last 42 years that I have seen myself, the transformation has been stupendous. Stupendous because, the technology has been changing tremendously. There are three V's. One is the velocity of change has also increased. The volume of information has increased, and the veracity of information has also changed. So it's a V cube that is happening in terms of the technology. And what CSI has done so far, and I'd like to definitely congratulate them one more time, is that they've gone ahead and make sure that they had engagement with the scientific community and also with the academic community, and made sure that they were current. So therefore, in the times that we live, the key thing that we have is that we need to learn constantly. And organizations like CSI have an important role in making sure that this learning continues. So therefore, I think the first message I have is all of us have to learn because of the change that is there, and that is very imperative at this point of time. And what we foresee is much faster change that will come by in technologies. And CSI has a great role further to play in making sure that the scientific and educational community will lead the way in making sure that technology is at its forefront. The second point I wanted to make was that the minister talked very eloquently all about digital India. If you look at the three components that have to become true for digital India to be realized or actualized, is number one is that there should be connectivity. The second one is there should be content. And the third one is that there should be digital literacy. Honestly, the minister did mention a little bit about the common community centers. I'll touch upon that in a minute. I certainly like to congratulate the government and also the minister for taking this initiative, because I think it has a potential truly to change the face of this nation. If we truly can go ahead and make India digital, there could be plenty of applications that could come by. The minister himself mentioned about e-commerce. He talked about, e-health, e-education. There could be many more of those E's that could come by. But I said earlier the three things that have to happen is, one is connectivity. I'm sure he said, he talked to the chief minister in terms of the broadbanding, putting those big pipes and so on and so forth, creating the information highway. That may not be difficult because the infrastructure today is certainly a primary importance. Pumping in more amount of money will make that happen. The second one is that we, all of us as professionals, have to create that content. I think we need to make this digital revolution much more smarter than what it is. What I saw as computers and what you see in a smart device like the phone that all of you have in your pockets, the smartphone, has the same amount of computing power. So therefore, so long as we can exploit this machine, I think we have a great opportunity in making sure the content can be reached by a number of citizens in this country. But I think the most important one I feel, and I've been trying my best to communicate this and do our bit on behalf of NASSCOM, is bring about the literacy. People have to change. He talked about women being empowered like in the milk revolution. But truly, I think unless we get to people to say how they use it, then we will have, this story will not get complete. So I think the second message I have is, for the digital India to become very, very beneficial to every one of us, I think we need to make sure that we also participate as citizens to bring about more amount of literacy. With 1.12 lakh membership that we have in CSI, I think CSI can play a very important role in bringing about more amount of literacy in the digital media for this country. The third message I have is that what we see in this world is about great amount of disruption. The minister, I think in passing, mentioned about innovation. The future lies in terms of disruptive innovation. I think there is so much of opportunity for our young people. The technology provides so many of them that we will see more new businesses coming in. We will also see that existing business models are not valid any longer. And truly, there will be newer technologies that will come by. One of them that I'm very upbeat about is Internet of Things. I actually, in the lighter vein, keep telling people there is Internet of Everything. So that's what will happen finally. And what is the key driver for it is, one way you can say digital connectivity or the information highways we had, the smartphones, but most importantly, the cost of these transistors that have come by. Some of you could be very familiar with it. When Simon Cray created the computers in 1968, a transistor was costing it $38 per piece. Thereafter, when IBM came into play with the PCs in the 1970s, a transistor was costing $8 a piece. Today, for $8, you can get 1 million transistors. So therefore, you have the ability to go ahead and place these transistors everywhere you like. They can, not necessarily the applications that just to do with the digital India, there could be a number of other applications. I work in the space of aerospace quite intensely, and we have an engine health monitoring system, an aircraft engine health monitoring system, which actually monitors the aircraft health when it is at 30,000 feet. Or we have an application where in 7 minutes, believe me, in 7 minutes, we can turn around the train for any defects it has, largely because of the technology that's available at this point of time. Technology always provides challenges. I said the disruptive technology especially. But technology also provides an opportunity associated with it. So we live in times where there are challenges, but associated with these challenges, there are also opportunities. And a part of these challenges that we have to understand at this point of time, and rightly so, I believe it was discussed so extensively today, is the issue relating to cybersecurity. We still don't have that properly addressed at this point of time. We brought this up to the attention of the Chief Minister and also the IT Minister, as also with from the state as well as the center. And we certainly think that is one of the concerns that we have with the implementation of Digital India. The IT Minister of Telangana was also in a great hurry, but we were talking about creating a center here for just training people in cybersecurity. I believe one of the companies will come forward in making that happen. The second one, which we also think is a big challenge right now, and rightly so, all of you seem to have discussed it so extensively today, is all about the quality of education that we have. I wouldn't get into the detail of it, but I think that is something which we from industry feel very concerned about. I'm currently running a CSR initiative for Government of Telangana, where I have 3,000 engineers who are in the fourth year, first semester, picked up from 19 engineering colleges. And what are we doing? We're doing 60 hours of soft skills training for them. We're doing 160 hours of basic engineering training for them. We're doing another 160 hours of advanced training in product development. So, thank you. But the question I always have is that what we should be doing with 4.1 and 4.2 students? I think that has to be done much earlier. I feel very sad when I ask questions in interviews saying that what's the difference between enthalpy and entropy? And people look at me as if, I'm asking some questions about Mars and Moon, what is found there. That's what an mechanical engineering graduate seeking a job would look at me. So therefore, I think we have a challenge in making sure if this digital India is going to be true, and all of us will have success in our lives, we need to definitely ensure the cybersecurity issues as also the education issues has to be addressed. So I'll conclude by saying three things. I'd like to once again congratulate CSI for the 50th anniversary. That's a long time in their lifespan as an association. I certainly believe that as an association, they will have to do more amount of inquiry, more amount of challenges, more amount of learning for all its membership if they have to be current in this changing environment. The second one is the digital India, if it has to be true, all of us have to be participative. We need to make sure that the literacy in this country goes up. And finally, with the technology changes, the disruption that you see in terms of technology provides lots of opportunities, and there is great future for all of us ahead. Thank you very much again. I really appreciate all of you staying back and listening to me. And thank you especially to my good friend, Mr. J. Chowdhury, for inviting me this evening. Thank you.